I would go as far as I need to defend myself against any intruder or anybody that's trying to harm me.
You know, it seems like year after year, we all come together as one collective species in agreement that the world is ending right before our eyes all the time. Events that used to be month-long news cycles are just days long now because something terrible is always happening. Maybe it's the fact that because of the World Wide Web, we see everything that happens everywhere all the time, which is great for your mental health. Or maybe throughout history, people have always thought that the world is ending, even decades and decades ago. You know what though, I do think the world is actually ending, probably, because what the hell is this? I mean, really, what is it? Okay, I'm getting flustered. I need to stop. Whether doomsday is actually upon us or not, I'll be damned if I'm not going to be prepared for it. Prepped, you might say. Prepped for doomsday. Sounds like a good idea for a show. Doomsday Preppers is a documentary-style reality show on National Geographic that we have covered many times before, and the concept is, well, hopefully pretty self-explanatory. It's just Doomsday Preppers. Now, as we go into the 2 episodes that I chose today, which I chose 2 because they're fairly short, like less than 15 minutes each, I've seen enough of these to notice a handful of common traits within each episode of Doomsday Preppers. They go as followed. First, we're introduced to our prepper. We find out what their deal is, what makes them special, if anything, and what they think Doomsday will be. Second, we always have them saying in one way or another that they are not crazy. Third, we are immediately shown evidence that they may be, in fact, well, a bit crazy. And of course, next, the main chunk of the episode, we are shown what their plan is and get a demonstration of said plan, which usually involves showing everyone on TV where their hideout is. Number 5 is failure to some degree, whether that be shit hitting the fan, their plan not working out, someone getting hurt.
Do you feel better now that you're laying down?
Things are spinning.
The last 2 on the list are very quick and happen at the end of the episode. That being the assessment, where the expert prepper panel at Nat Geo evaluate the prepper setup and give them a score.
Your total survival score is 69 out of 100. You have an initial 12-month survival time.
And last, but certainly not least, my favorite part of the episode, the debunking, where the narrator basically says, yeah, this probably won't happen, and just debunks every worry that prepper has. But okay, enough yapping, let's finally take a look at Doomsday Preppers. Again.
Jason Beecham is a 15-year-old living in the small town of Plato, Missouri, with 2 brothers, family dinners, schoolwork, and homework. But while most high school sophomores are preoccupied with girls, grades, or sports, Jason Beecham has other things on his mind.
That's right, guys. We're finally watching the teenage prepper. And boy, this one's a doozy.
Jason Beecham has other things on his mind.
Okay, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like the network didn't have him put that gas mask in his locker to get their big money shot. I know he doesn't actually bring a gas mask to school every day. That being said, during this episode, if I was a kid walking down the hall and I saw this kid put a gas mask in his locker, I'm not coming to school the next day.
I'm preparing for anarchy following economic collapse.
Aren't we all? Also, guys, side note, I just want to get this out of the way. If I sound a little bit nasally and maybe like I've got a head cold, that's because I am nasally and I have a head cold.
I do not think I'm obsessed with prepping. I'm passionate in my preps because I do believe at some point this can save my life. I don't think I'm paranoid.
Well, there's number 2 on the list already with the I'm not crazy of the episode.
Just open-minded.
I'm gonna warn you guys right now, this is the first of many shots of this kid's bloodshot eyes staring into your soul, holding on for just a little bit too long in the episode.
Jason started prepping in 2008 at age 11 as he watched the country reel from the banking and mortgage crisis.
Okay, so I was also 11 in 2008, so me and this kid are the same age. With that being said, even though my family was hit kind of hard during the recession, I didn't get into online doomsday forums and clean out my army surplus store in the process, so I guess we all have our own ways of dealing with things.
I started to become a prepper when I was researching facts about the economy and how it's falling.
So essentially, Jason he believes that we will have another financial crisis, worse than any before, and that is why he owns 5 gas masks.
If everything happens and the financial collapse leads to civil unrest, you can actually, there'd be 2 main groups. There'd be the police and the army and all that. Then you'd have the people who want what you have. And no matter how hidden you are, they will come for it.
If I'm talking about something that I'm passionate about and believe in to my mom, this is the last face I want her to make.
Don't you ever sometimes wish you just was like everybody else and wasn't worried about those type of things?
No, if you're just like everyone else, you're gonna end up like everyone else if anything happens. My chances would be far better than someone who, say, just at the last minute tries to get to a store.
All right, so I was doing a quick sweep of his wall, because I'm nosy, and everything seems to look pretty normal for a teenage boy. Is that a fucking noose?
I do prep on a very, very low budget. I try to get whatever I can.
Now, I've mentioned before when covering this show that primarily well-off middle-aged men are the focus of this episode, but in this one, he is neither of those things. So he has to scavenge for his supplies, and his mother seems to be the main victim. He just takes her shit. He takes small things that she uses on a day-to-day basis that would probably annoy you if they went missing.
Absolutely. Sometimes I want to wring his neck when I can't find my scissors, or I can't find my rope, or I can't find this. Guaranteed Jason probably has it.
I can tell you where the fucking rope went.
If my mom comes home with groceries or something, I'll take a can. Eventually it adds up.
Imagine it's Thanksgiving. Mom was tasked with bringing the casserole. It's really important that she does so. Grocery stores are closed, she's halfway through making this, and she checks her cabinet, and god damn it, Jason's eating her can of cream of mushroom in the fucking woods. Hey guys, it's Chris. Sick, in a different t-shirt. That's right, I don't feel so good. But hey, you can feel good with the sponsor of today's video, Mood. Guys, Mood has you covered with 100% federally legal cannabis products that ship discreetly right to your door. That's right, no need to worry about sneaky glances from your neighbors. Like the ones I get when the newspapers that I can't seem to cancel pile up outside my house. Mood has a wide variety of different products for whatever mood you might be after. I said that because it was the correct word to use in the sentence and the name of the company. Whether you're looking for more of an energetic, creative, social, or calm vibe, Mood has got you covered. My personal favorite was the Fruity Medley Mix gummies for when I'm trying to relax after a long day of not posting for 2 to 4 weeks at a time. It calms me down and I sleep like a baby. And whichever way you prefer to indulge, Mood offers different products for all ingestion methods. Mood is also all about impact. They're big on supporting US farmers and donate to pet humane societies. It's good, right? Okay, so guys, if you want to try out Mood for yourself, use the coupon code CHRIS20 to get a free THCA pre-roll and 20% off your first order. Disclaimer, these products are for 21 and over only. Thank you so much to Mood for sponsoring, and now back to a different version of me that is also sick. That's right, I was hoping, given the buffer between filming that ad and filming this, that I would get better, and I have not.
I would go as far as I need to defend myself against any intruder or anybody that's trying to harm me. I'm not afraid to have to kill. There's people out there who's never shot a gun in their life. If I practice and practice, I can be able to get my shotgun out in a second.
Damn, his mom is just raw dogging those shotgun blasts with no ear protection whatsoever.
Stuff like that can save your life.
Ah, shit, I ain't a fucking thing.
Today, he's demonstrating his latest creation for his mom and brothers.
So what is this?
It's my baseball bat.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Jason, I thought that when you asked for that baseball bat, it was because you wanted to start playing baseball. I guess that's also why you asked for the box of nails, too.
Something like this can save you someday. It will mess somebody up, you know?
No doubt, taught that watermelon a lesson. But given my extensive experience with weapons testing, watching Deadliest Warrior on this channel, nails or no nails, that watermelon he hit with the bat, the outcome would have been the same. It's a watermelon getting hit with a baseball bat.
Even with his cache of weapons, Jason is concerned that enough desperate raiders could still overpower him following an economic collapse.
Now, so far we've learned a lot about Jason and his plan, but we're about to see what matters to him more than anything. Family.
So Jason, you gonna take your mom with you when you bug out?
No.
Ah.
No?
Why not?
Because
Why? I am an
Olympic-
asset.
You gotta choose smart. Numbers can actually be bad. The ideal group
You would
size,
leave your mom?
maybe.
You know, at first I thought he was just kind of fucking with his mom here, but then he goes into an actual explanation, and you can see his mom's demeanor change immediately. She's like, wait, what the hell, you really wouldn't take me? I mean, I don't think this doomsday shit will ever happen at all. In fact, I'm actively looking for psychiatrists for you as we speak. But if this did happen, you really wouldn't fucking take me?
Jason doesn't want to be a lone wolf if he can avoid it, so he's decided to recruit more preppers his own age.
So now as we get into the demonstration section of the episode, we find out that not only Jason is taking his longtime friend prepper Dylan, but a new recruit, Austin. And it's sort of reminiscent of the first episode I covered with Tom and Steve, where Tom was taking Steve on a trial run to see if he could handle a real-life bug-out, and, well, we all know how that went.
Man, you up, man. You fired inside the freaking blind, dude.
I do think it's possible to survive on your own, but when you're my age and size, it's probably smarter to survive with a team.
What the hell, Jason? Didn't you just tell your mom the exact opposite?
Numbers can actually be bad.
What are these skinny little guys gonna do for you that she can't do?
Jason and Dylan have been prepping together for 1 year.
You know, Dylan and I have been prepping for over a year now, and we really didn't think we needed a third person, but then Austin moved to town, and we really liked the way his head was shaved, so we thought, why not add a third?
But Austin is a new recruit. Tonight, Jason is running a mock bug out to see if Austin has what it takes to make it as a full-fledged member of his survival team.
Alright, now maybe I'm overanalyzing. Not that I ever shy away from that, but Austin looks genuinely scared here to do this tonight.
This is a big night for Austin because this is when he proves himself and...
God damn, fucking backpack boy over here.
So he's tasked Austin with finding them adequate cover for the night.
I cannot wait to see how this evening goes.
This one's secure and has a door and everything in it.
Well, how big is it?
It's got 3 rooms, and one room has a big secure door. The only weakness on it is the windows in the back, but we could cover it up with this plywood I just brought in. Will that work? Is that a plan?
Let's do that.
Will that work? Yeah. The fuck is this guy's problem?
Austin's discovery has satisfied the group's basic need for shelter from the elements and attack.
So now as we get into the demonstration, the guys are testing their ability to survive in the elements for the evening, and will be doing so in what looks like a random building in the woods teenagers would use to smoke weed in. Which is so funny because imagine being stoned out of your mind, already paranoid being in the woods, and then these 3 fucking guys show up and bust a window.
But the ability to make fire is an essential prep for any bug out into the wild.
So number 1 on the agenda is starting a fire. Now, if you don't know anything about fire, don't worry. The narrator's got you covered, for some reason.
It provides heat and light, and the ability to cook, sterilize, and signal.
Okay, let's build our fire pit down so this whole building don't catch on fire. So this is gonna be burn big.
This is brick, you'll be fine.
Soon the fire is so high, it threatens the entire shelter.
Do you have water? It's getting black.
Dylan breaks the window to try to get rid of the smoke, but that only feeds the fire more oxygen.
This isn't making us look too good.
I love seeing these guys bumbling around like, you're gonna break the window! Oh shit, it's getting bigger!
Austin dons a gas mask and extinguishes the fire before it destroys their shelter.
Well, at least he got to use one of his many gas masks, which I know he was probably pretty stoked to use that.
Austin showed his common sense and just ability to pick certain things out and notice them.
Sounds like Austin knows a thing or two about the dangers of lighting fires inside of buildings, which you would think would be common knowledge, but apparently not to our seasoned preppers.
I told you guys that was a little too tall before, and we should lower it a little bit, and you guys said that was okay.
I tried telling you guys before, if the fire gets too tall, it's going to threaten the integrity of the building. You know, I was thinking before, if this fire gets too tall, it might threaten the integrity of the building. What the fuck?
Common sense and just brains is something you need. You can have these off my bag. It's been on there for a while, since I first started this. You've earned them, yeah.
Here you go. You've earned it. What's this? It's the underwear that I wore on my first bug-out exercise. I'd like you to have it. Thank you.
Good job. Proud team.
Congratulations, man.
Thanks.
So what we just witnessed was the failure section of the episode, which, all things considered, could have gone much worse. But now that's all out of the way, it's time for the assessment. Let's see what the experts have to say.
Jason, the experts at Practical Preppers think your survival group is an excellent source of security, but could be made even more effective with a communication plan. You should invest in affordable two-way radios, which will let you communicate with your family and friends.
I will look into getting something like that when I have the money.
Fine, okay, I'll get some when I get some more money. Unless, of course, we adopt the barter system. In that case, I'll just trade a can of my mom's peas for a pair of some.
You should devote more time to learning wilderness and survival skills. You have 4 months initial survival time.
That's a good assessment, but I'm young and I'm way ahead of most people my age, and you'd be surprised how long I could last.
I would be surprised because you barely made it last night. You know, in all honesty, not the worst reaction to that assessment news. Usually the preppers are much sassier about it and are never really happy with the outcome. But finally, number 7 on the list, number 7, my favorite part, the debunk.
While some fear it is once again stalling, few believe a total economic collapse is likely.
Well, there you have it, son. Pack up your gas masks, because according to Nat Geo, you won't need them. I don't know why he called him son, we're the same age. But now that we are done looking into those eyes, it's time to see what is next in store. What next? But the next episode.
Braxton Southwick and his family are always on the move.
Right off the bat, may I say, what an exceptionally awesome fucking name, Braxton. No one under the age of 16 may have it, but what a sick name regardless. Also, quite fitting for a guy with a bunch of dirt bikes.
I'm preparing my family for a biological terrorist attack.
A lot of people think if you're a prepper, you're crazy, and it's just not true.
Braxton Southwick is a mechanic living in the suburbs outside of Salt Lake City, Utah. With the war on terror stretching into its 11th year, Braxton believes it's only a matter of time before the U.S. gets hit with what he views as the mother of all biological weapons.
Now, quite early on, we get number 2 and 3 knocked off the list with the I'm not crazy and the crazy.
We'll have like an hour talk about guns and bullets and the whole plan.
You know, one thing maybe I could have added to the list, even though it would have just, the list would have gotten to, it's already quite long, was the very much not on board family, because most of the time, the family is very much not on board, just like the mom in the last episode.
Before the U.S. gets hit with what he views as the mother of all biological weapons, smallpox.
What?
Al-Qaeda and the other terrorist groups want nothing more than to destroy America. The last couple of years, they started doing research about terrorist attacks, biological weapons. If a terrorist organization wanted to use a biological weapon, smallpox would be number 1 on their list.
So this next part is unnecessarily long and drawn out, so I will just summarize it. Basically, they explain what smallpox is, how contagious it is, and one thing they do not explain is how Al-Qaeda will get their hands on this eradicated disease to then use as a bioweapon against the United States.
Braxton dreads the possibility of being trapped in his home, surrounded by the infected.
I legitimately thought he was about to say trapped in his home, surrounded by his family and loved ones.
My family's plan is to bug out to our cabin, which is located up in the mountains and away from the population.
Now this episode, we are back to business as usual with our well-off, middle-aged man with his plan to bug out to a remote location, whether that be another home, a bunker, a missile silo, you know, the old 1, 2, 3. You know what? Isn't that something? You know what else is something? Following me on all my other social medias, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, it's at Chris the James everywhere else. If you want to keep up to date with me and see what other stuff I'm doing, because I'm always doing stuff like this. Or that. Wow. Or this. Yeah, so go do that anyways. Back to the video. Now, speaking of family disapproval, we're about to hear some of that from arguably the one person you really want on your side for this sort of thing.
I don't know if I believe in Doomsday or not. Braxton tends to be very OCD in that he gets one idea in his head and that's his big project for the next couple of years.
Imagine your dad having one of his classic dad projects, and it's just a very expensive, life-altering family operation with layers upon layers of paranoia and logistics.
So today, Braxton's running a drill to ensure his family can get out of town before National Guard troops show up to turn them back.
We're bugging out to the cabin, and I wanted this to be serious. We're going to see how well we are as a family doing this.
Braxton is one of those guys where I cannot tell if he is 32 or 52.
Boys, I want you to get your guns, holster them on the side. The rifles go in next. Then girls, food storage. Start bringing up the food storage. That goes in the trailer next. Once the food storage is up, I want you to pack your clothes.
All right, and cameraman 1 and 2, I want you to help haul everything into the truck. What?
Sometimes I think he just goes a little overboard, and we don't need to practice these kinds of things, but I decided to humor him because he said if I went along with his bug out scenario, then he would take me to dinner where I wanted to go next week and basically be at my beck and call for an entire weekend.
Oh, isn't that nice? Her reward is the bare fucking minimum. Jesus Christ. All right, fine. If you help me out with this, I'll take you on that date you've been bugging me about for 7 years.
We all know what we're doing. Okay, I want it fast. You guys ready?
Yeah, which boxes did you want us to grab again?
Right now, I have 13 guns, handguns, semi-automatic assault rifles, and sniper gun, which is a 30-06.
Maybe it's just me, but sniper gun sounds like such a little kids playing army thing to say.
Pilot right there on the bottom. We have a huge amount of food to sustain us for quite a long time.
The Southwicks believe they have enough food to last their family of 8, 1 year on the road.
1 year? That's food for 1 year? How much sugar do you go through in 1 year? Are you also starting a post-apocalyptic bakery?
They're super easy to raise. They eat anything. They love French toast, pizza. We've even fed them chicken. But don't tell them that. My family has biological suits. Everybody has a suit that you can strip off. And also biological masks to filter the air so we're not breathing it in.
You know that their HOA neighbors are just giving them the look right now.
Braxton urgently wants to get on the road. In the event of a smallpox attack, 2,000 National Guard troops could be on the ground in a day to cut off the city.
So now it's time for the family to head off to their cabin, and I'm assuming it's just gonna go how all these episodes go, and we'll be in for a treat.
They're questioning Braxton on probably where he's been and what they're going to do with us.
Come into contact with anything other than your family did?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm gonna have you sit on this backboard.
Anyone showing signs of viral infection would immediately be isolated.
Dad!
What is this fucking play they're putting on right now? Who are these people? Did his wife know all of this was gonna happen? Because if she did, maybe she would have asked for more than a trip to Ruth's Chris before agreeing to it.
First thing to do is take off all of your clothes. Take the sponge, use the sponge to scrub yourself down from head to toe.
Guys, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I usually give these shows a quick once-over scrub through the beginning to kind of see if it's an episode worth doing, but I did not get this far. I had no idea we were going to involve the U.S. National Guard.
Braxton set up this drill so that Master Sergeant Wade Francis from the Utah National Guard's Chemical and Biological Emergency Response Unit could evaluate his family's preparedness.
Oh my god, these are real fucking soldiers. I thought that he just got some of his buddies together. I was joking about the National Guard. I hope they're not actually on the clock. Second thought, a lot funnier if they are on the clock. Tax dollars wasted or not.
When Braxton said that we were going to run a bug out drill, I thought to myself, oh, good grief, here we go again. But it was definitely different, not what I expected. I think it's beneficial really for the kids to see what they need to do to be prepared. I think going forward, this experience has really been eye-opening for our family.
You know, this was really eye-opening for me. Seeing how this would actually all play out in real life was very interesting. Also, I'm never fucking doing it again. Also, sorry I skipped over highlighting some of the points from my list. I hope you can understand, given the insanity. Completely bananas demonstration aside, I wouldn't consider this one a failure. I mean, the National Guard kind of said they did alright, and I imagine they have a bit more pull than Nat Geo's Practical Preppers. Speaking of Practical Preppers, it's time for them to give Braxton an assessment on his prepping.
Your water stores are adequate. However, your resupply plan relies on small rain-catching barrels that provide a limited amount of unpurified water. For families training with firearms is excellent for security, But not having a bunker or safe room in your home could be a great danger to your family's safety.
Our original plan is to bug out to the cabin. I'm not going to build a bunker here.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to have to begrudgingly agree with Braxton here. Their whole plan is to just get out. Why does it matter what kind of rain storage he has at his house, or if he has a bunker? Now I'm getting too into this again. I gotta get better at that.
In addition, your extensive planning with your family gives you 14 X Factor points.
So you're telling me he went through all of that, including the Broadway play at the border, just to get a 14 out of 20 on planning? Who are these people grading this? Is this just whoever had to stay late at the studio that night?
Hey, National Geographic. Since you guys were last here, we've made a lot of changes.
Holy shit, this is the worst video quality I have seen on one of these follow-up recordings yet.
We've added 300 gallons of water to our food storage, and I got a new filtration.
But now, guys, finally, it's time to see the likeliness of a biological attack carried out by Al-Qaeda to spread the smallpox, the disease that's been eradicated for over 40 years, to the United States.
Since its eradication in the 1970s, the only known samples of the smallpox virus are kept in 2 labs, one in the US and one in Russia. The US also keeps enough vaccine on hand to vaccinate everyone who would need it in the event of an outbreak.
Well, there you have it. Who would have known except everyone on the planet, not Braxton? I bet Al-Qaeda is even watching this episode like, dude, what the fuck? Come on. Well, guys, that was once again Doomsday Preppers. I hope you did enjoy. I think this is the 4th video we've made on it, and I'm never gonna stop. If you did enjoy, don't forget to like, comment, share with your friends. It all helps me out a ton. If you're new here and you did enjoy and you want to see more videos, consider subscribing, hitting that notification bell so you can stay up to date on all of my uploads. Once again, don't forget to check me out on my other social medias at Chris the James everywhere else. Another big thank you to Mood for sponsoring. Don't forget to check them out at hellomood.co. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.